Like we don't give solutions. We just give the concepts and we just give the principles, values, and they themselves will find the solutions for that. Mainly, we focus on these three things: learn, do, teach, have growth mindset, create systems, and influence others. So we work on evidence-based learning. Say that okay, success is very simple. Just you have to master the principles and values. That's it. So the more books they read, the more they will learn, and the more they learn, the more they can apply in their life. The more they apply in their life, the more results they will get it. So these kind of foundations, if they can master at an early age, they will be able to master anything in their life. Unfortunately, these are the things that are not taught in schools.
नमस्कार, स्वागत है आपका आज के एपिसोड में। अगर आप एक पेरेंट हैं और अगर आपको बच्चा 8 साल से 15 साल की एज का है, तो आज का पॉडकास्ट जरूर सुनिए। आज हमने एक रिनाउंड किड सक्सेस कोच को इनवाइट किया है, जिनका नाम है पावना श्री। हमने पावना जी से बहुत सारी बातें की हैं टू नो व्हाट देयर कोचिंग सिस्टम इज, हाउ डज इट वर्क, हाउ डज इट हेल्प किड्स टू बिकम बेटर इन देयर लाइफ एंड बिकम अ सक्सेसफुल अडल्ट। सो लेट्स वेलकम पावना श्री. Good afternoon, Pavana Shree. Very warm welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. And I would want you to introduce yourself first.
Yeah, thank you so much, Meenu, for having me here. It's my pleasure being here. So myself, I'm Pavana Shree. I'm Kids Success Coach and founder of Young Achievers Hub.
So when you say Kids Success Coach, what does that mean? I mean, kids, it depends on who, at what age you are, and for you, everybody younger to you would be a kid, right?
Yes. So I am specifically into like 8 to 15 years old children.
What are the most common challenges you have seen parents come to you with, like what they have which is hindering their kids' success?
Yeah, so most of the time parents, they're overwhelmed with information and the kind of atmosphere they're exposed to, the media they watch. So all these things, they make them feel, overwhelmed with information. And also they compare themselves with others. So that gives them fear of future, like, how it is going to be. So they will, the parents also get fearful about the kids' future, and they start comparing with other kids. So that is what will make them feel that it's whether they're going in right direction or not. They feel insecure about their children growth. Like, are they in proper way? Like, am I upbringing them in a proper way? So those questions will start coming up for them, and they'll be doubtful also. Like, how to go about this. I don't know. So they'll be helpless. So these are the many challenges that parents usually go through, and also they themselves will be focused on their career, and they don't have time nowadays. Both the parents are working, so they have their own goals and visions for their career. So they have very less time to cater for their children. So in that way, they are very much concerned about, in whatever available time what we have, how can we give best to our children. So that is what they'll be dealing with. Yes,
So
these are
you
some
give you take care of parents as well as kids, or you focus mainly on kids?
the classes will be mainly for children. But in case if some parents are more interested and they want to learn themselves and they want to coach their children, that is also possible, because many of my courses are recorded. So when they have that recorded session, they can also go through that, and they can learn and they can implement for themselves and also for their children. So only if the child attends the classes, and if that is not recorded, or if that information is not given to the parents, then they will be not aware what are the things that children are learning, and how to master, like how that they can create that environment for the child, that they'll be not knowing it. But if it is recorded, and if they have all that kind of information what their children is going through, it will be easy for them to create that environment to support the child to flourish in whatever they are learning.
Okay. So as far as I know, most of the kids do not like studying. I mean, their actual work itself is more than enough. They come back, they finish their homework. and they might have some time to play out or something, and it's their sleep time. So how does your coaching bridge the gap between what they are already learning and what do you teach, and how does it impact a kid's life?
So this is a very important question, and I would love to answer this because most of the parents will have this question. See, my children are already going to school, and they are learning a lot of academic things, and they are busy with other extracurricular activities. So they don't have time for any other things to come up. But what I can invite them to look at it is, for everything foundation is needed. So for a human being, what are the foundations are like thinking, thoughts creates actions, actions creates results, results will create a quality of life. So if the thoughts itself is not in a positive or empowered way, then whatever the actions that child takes will not make any difference for the child. So these are the foundation. This is just an example I gave. Like this, like habits build their life. So if the right kind of habits are there, they can have a right kind of life. So these kind of things, if that is missing in their lifestyle, so what they are going to do is just a building without foundation that will be not strong. Anything the challenges comes, they'll be not able to deal with that because they don't have right kind of foundation for them to deal with that kind of challenges. So when we give as a parent, our focus always should be towards giving a right foundation, so that in their life in future, if they face any kind of challenges in any aspect of their life, like it may be relationship, it may be health, it may be about finance. So any kind of aspect of their life, they should be able to deal with that powerfully. Unfortunately, these are the things that are not taught in schools. They only focus on academic information. So, they focus on academics, and these are the things that parents should be aware of, what kind of what kind of things the school is teaching, and what are the foundations that the children should be mastered. So when they come to know all these things, that okay, habit matters, principles should be there, value should be there. So their thoughts, how they think is very important. So these kind of foundations, if they can master at an early age, they will be able to master anything in their life. That is why it's very important, and that is why it's important for them to give at least half an hour time in their life. It's not too much time I'm asking, just a half an hour time, 15 minutes of learning, 15 minutes of implementing that in their life. It will give a huge foundation for them. It will give a huge confidence for them in their life. Yeah.
And when you say like half an hour's time in a day, like 15 minutes for learning and implementing, one thing which I have observed it, everyone's attention span is very, very less. Even like for adults, if you ask them to do something other than which is not required, they find it hard. And with kids, I think it might be more. So how do you make sure they are interested in completing the task or the classes, and then also, taking a step to implement it? How do you deal with that?
Yeah, actually, most of the kids who are participating in our program right now, they are excited to take the actions in our classes because this is their life. So they will be fully, participating. So if when I ask some questions, they are so excited to answer those questions. So these classes are not like academic classes. It's not like okay, I will teach something theory and they learn it and write it and learn it and all. This is a connection based learning. So there will be an exchange of communication, like reflective based. So I ask some questions and they reflect on their life. They don't have to remember anything. They don't have to learn anything here. Just they getting to their life and getting present to that, and just sharing that will make them more excited for them because it's all about their life. So kids especially, they love to talk about themselves. Or like, if you're talking to them about what they have done, how was it? So if these kind of questions if we ask, they'll be more excited to, look into their life and share their life from, with us. So, and also the way we teach is also like, it's story based. So it's not very much theoretical. It's story based. Video, learnings will be there where it will they feel like they're watching story. So inside of that, the curriculum will be delivered. And also we work on evidence based learning, so where they know they produce that evidence that for example one day they watch that one video, and when we ask the question, so they reflect on their life and they complete the assignment. So like that talking speaking is itself is an assignment. We don't have to take extra any other timings or any other it's not difficult for them because it's all easy way of doing things. Yes.
That's wonderful. So when we say success, I know everyone has their own criteria, but if I ask you in your hub, what are the 3 or 4 critical things you teach? So which are important for, for a kid to become a successful adult?
Yes, so there are three things that we teach. First of all, we say that okay, success is very simple. Just you have to master the principles and values. That's it. So
Mhm.
you don't have to look at multiple actions. You don't have to look at n number of ways of doing things. So you have to all you have to do is just master the principles, which are very simple principles, and that will be there for you lifelong. It's a foundation for success for lifelong. So when we say that, three things what we mainly focus on is that one is having a growth mindset. So we have two ways of thinking. One is fixed way of thinking, another is growth mindset. So where fixed way is all about okay, I can do only this much. We come from past. Oh, I can do only this much. It's not possible. So that is how we think. But in growth mindset, it is all about how I can do it. So what kind of actions I should take so that I can accomplish this goal. So it's all about how I can make it. Than oh, it's not possible, or it's very difficult. So those kind of conversations will be not there in growth mindset. So when they master this growth mindset, they take it in a different perspective. So they start looking at things in a multi-dimensional way. So that will lead them to be successful in their life because they see with that different perspective how I can make it happen. The second the thing that we are going to focus is creating systems. So once they know that okay, they can achieve anything and anything is possible, and what is their vision, what is that they want to achieve goal, everything. The second step is that they have to focus on creating systems. So how they can bring that into their life through the routines and habits. So that is very critical. So we may know many things, we may like to do many things, we wish to do many things, we desire to do many things, we have so many dreams, but unless that is created into their unless you bring that into your daily routines, it is not going to become real. So that should come into your habits. It should come as a habit for you. So that is when whatever you desire will happen. So second is how to create that structures and create habits for yourself to become successful. The third secret is that how you can influence people. So our structure, as I shared, so it's all about learn, implement, and teach. So as you influence others, so in the implementation phase, you will implement that. You will take actions, and when you come to the influence phase, where you will teach others. So when you teach others, you will learn 90% of what you're doing. So you're going to influence people. So in that way, you're going to master that concepts very quickly, and it will be there for you for lifelong because you're coaching others, and there will be a lot of other skills that will come under that. So mainly we focus on these three things: learn, do, teach, have growth mindset, create systems, and influence others.
Okay. And I also understand that since you have a range of kids, like there is a gap of like 6 7 years, right, from the youngest kid in the class and maybe the one who's maybe 15 years of age. So how do you address that unique needs which every individual have, because they will have different mindset and everyone is influenced by whatever environment they are in. How do you take care of that?
Yeah, so basically it's a connection based I shared, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when they come together in the class, like it's a life skills that we'll be talking, and it's about life, and life is same for everyone. So they share from their life, the other people able to get that, and they are able to relate to their life. So here it's not about the concept, or it's not about the the way they take it, but it's about their life. So that is when they learn to really get present to the others life, and get connected to the other people, and think everyone are same, and go with the flow. So that kind of skills they will build it. So basically it's about being okay with the environment, and being okay with the people sharing their life. So it's about life, and it's for everyone same. So in that way we don't have to much worry about the age gap. Yeah.
Okay. So I understand there'll be some kids who will be very excited and open and every time answer every question, be very participative. But I assume there might be some group of kids, or at least some, individual in class who would be shy away, or they're not having enough confidence to open up and speak, even though you ask something which is very simple. Or like if you say, okay, whatever you learned yesterday, just tell me in 30 seconds. There'll be many hands go up, but there'll be still some kids who will be shy. How do you teach them, or how do you help them overcome this self doubt, or maybe not having enough motivation to be so participative and being so active as other kids? How do you take care of that?
Yes, so this is a wonderful question. So how we can deal that, how we are dealing that with is, really, even the child is not able to, share, they'll be listening to the conversations. So
Mm.
initially we give that space for them to be the way they want to be. They can just be and observing everything and listening to that conversations. So even they don't speak also, they are learning everything, and they are observing everything, whatever happening in the atmosphere, like in the environment, in the class. So people who are sharing, they are contributing to the people who are silent. They are able to get the things from other people. So in that way, even the person who is sitting also is learning, because he is listening to the other's life. So he is able to relate to that person, and he is able to relate to them what they are sharing. After certain time, yeah, definitely we, as I told you, it is we give challenges for them. Like everyday challenge will be there. So where they have to really speak and share the video, and where they have to write and share it in the group. So it's an evidence based. Since we do as a challenge, so everyone will participate in the challenge. So there some kids, they will be comfortable doing alone, as a like at home, in the environment that they feel comfortable. So they can record it and they will share it in the group. So in that way, like after some time, they will start being as a that environment will make them to open up and be there. And also we have accountability structure where two kids will be talking to each other. So in that way, the two kids will share to each other, so they become comfortable. So like that, so we have different structures like accountability and challenges, and discussions, open discussions, team discussions, and all. So that the person who is also like less motivated will also get motivated because of the group of people who are around them. So self-doubt will automatically, disappear once they start taking challenges. So that's why we always suggest them to go for a longer time course, like 1 year course, where we give different challenges in every month. So they taking the challenges will make them more confident. When they, even one action they take, it will boost their confidence. One action they take, it will boost their confidence. So that is how we support them to take tiny actions, so that they can start feeling more confident ongoingly. So we welcome each personality and each kid, and we treat everyone in a same way, so that the child feel so comfortable and to be with, and experiences that safe space, so that they learn, and they start taking actions, tiny actions, and that will build their confidence.
Hmm. That sounds very good and realistic, and it almost felt like how these days adults learn. If you learn from anything from any online platform, they do imply these principles, like you have connection based learning, you have accountability partner, and definitely it boosts up. Like one person is feeling low, then other person pushes, and so on. So uh, I am curious to know, because being a parent, even I have a daughter who's 10. I But all I'm talking on behalf of all the parent, probably all of us as a parent want to make sure we inculcate these things in our child, like being a habit of getting up every day, brushing your teeth twice a day, and things like that. And while doing this, or while trying to attempt to cultivate these habit in our kids, somehow we miss something, and that's how when the kids grow up, they somehow feel detached, or they're not very comfortable talking to their parents or something. So from your experience, what are the common mistakes parents do while trying to inculcate these good habits in their kids?
So how they can really get present is like, having a connection with the child, with the empowering way, like, giving reasons for everything, how it is happening, why it is happening, like, really spending a lot of quality time with the children. So, having that connection, what you'll, knowing more about them. So not see what happens is, because even I was a mother and I was working, and now also I'm doing it. So usually what happens is, we have very less time, and in that less time we have to focus on what are the things to be done. So in that way we are focused only on getting things done. Okay, not really connected to the child. But if you keep that thing aside, and if you keep, if you concentrate more on having a connection with the child, okay, so having conversations and discussing about their life, what they like, so having that open, communication will automatically make the child to listen to you. So that is what I invite, parents to do that connection based, approach to, to guide them, not authority based. It's not authority that, okay, I have, and I'm going to do this. So instead of going with authority based, you can always go with connection based, parenting. So better they take the professional help from parenting coaches. And also we have kids coaches, so you joining them to the coaches, like, the community of people who are of, same age, and they're also doing same thing. So they feel, okay, it's all common, and all the kids are going through this, and these are all same, so they start relating to that. So it will be very easy for them to really relate to what you are saying, because they're also listening to other kids who are there in that same community.
So Pavna, I wanted to ask you now, current education system, if you see, that is also something which is trying to inculcate a lot of habits. Like many schools have life skill subject, or at least class once a week, or um, they have sports, and like many other things wherein they do try to inculcate various habits which are required for a kid to succeed. So how do you see that these schools are playing roles in success of a kid, or what do you think is not being provided there, so that kids need separate coaching, or they need to go to specific coaches who can help them build better foundation?
Yeah, so even nowadays, I am also observing that many schools, they're doing all these activities of public speaking, and they do have music classes, swimming classes, so many extracurricular activities they are also already doing, and they're also sometimes give leadership training, everything. So what is that actually missing is, they don't have any parameters to check the performance, like how was it before and how is it now. So they just teach, and they will just leave it there. But here, what will happen is, like, we have some structures where once you go through that 1 year of continuous learning, we will be able to show the difference now and till the end. And these skills, what you're going to learn is, you're going to master it, and you're going to have it in your DNA, like that. See, whatever you do daily as a habit for 1 year, it will become a habit for you throughout your life. Here in schools, there is no continuous support. So they won't monitor your actions, whether you're doing it or not. So that is the difference. And also, what I feel is, it's not about communication skills, but it is about all about the principles, like the principles what worked for role models. So in our coaching we have role models, okay, so that take Bob Proctor or Gandhi ji, these are all leaders who add some principles in their life, so that made them being successful. So in our classes we take that principles from them and we model that in our life, and we take continuous actions throughout 1 year. So that is how you are going to master it. And also when you told that even in schools also they are teaching everything, they are not talking about thoughts, they are not talking about they're not talking about how thoughts affect our lifestyle, and they're not talking about holistic life, like leading, if any challenges comes in relationships, how to address that. So what kind of principles you can use it. So it's not a structured way of doing things. They are doing it here and there. So, but it's not a structured way of doing things. So in our classes, we have principles and value-based coaching. So where they will be knowing, integrity as a subject, like, integrity, okay, how it is, how integrity will affect their life. What is integrity, and how integrity helped other role models to, achieve whatever they want to achieve. So what is responsibility? So how I can use that responsibility in my life. So responsibility, being in integrity and focusing on performance. So many things are not coached in schools.
I really like what you said, that parameters are not being measured. Like there is obviously, if there is a class, the whoever the subject in charge is, that person would make sure that kids would get whatever learning is there as per their curriculum. But they are not obviously monitoring the kid right from day one until the class ends, like at the end of the year. I understand that is something which is missing, but
Their more main focus, yeah, their main focus will be on academics. If you
yes,
observe, like, when we go to the parents teachers meeting, their main focus is only about the academics.
yes,
So they
yes.
won't, give the importance for other habits or other things. They won't talk about that much. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have observed that with my daughter's school. I would not name it, but they do have life skill session which happens every week. I think they have one period for that, and they do
Mm-hmm.
teach a lot of stuff. But when I go to PTM, obviously they do not talk a lot about it. They would in general say how the kid is doing and what are the things. And apart from academics, they do talk about other stuff. But I see what is missing is, as you said, nobody is measuring your child's performance on those criteria right from the time they enter in the class and towards the end of the year. So that is something which I also feel missing. On that note,
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask, how do you measure? I mean, what are your hubs success criteria or measurements? How do you measure how a kid has performed when they have entered to your program and by the time they have left, be it 6 months or 1 year? How do you do that?
Yeah, so we have a tracking system. So where we can track their habits and their performances, and we will be able to show the difference. Like, how was the before and how was the child after. Before and after, we will be able to share it through that tracking, through that action tracking. So we
Hmm.
have tracking system, and based on their actions and their sharing, so they will be able to see the difference. The child themselves share the differences. Like, how was their perspective before, now how was it, and how they are applying, how they are able to deal their day-to-day challenges now confidently. So this we will take more sharing from the child and more sharing from the parents. So they'll be able to see the difference, like, before and after once they complete the program.
And I also noticed that you were talking about how the relationship should be, how they deal with it. At such young age, I wonder what exactly do you teach them about relationship?
See, it's simple things like complaining. So they go to play. They love to play. They go to play with friends, and small argument will lead to disagreements and fights. So they don't know, like, how to deal with that. So when they come to the classes, like, when we are having some conversations, is when they share that, okay, these are my challenges. So we work with them. We will show that, okay, whether are you in domain of extraordinary leader, or are you in ordinary domain. So where ordinary domain, where you will be complaining, you have complaining nature, you have getting irritated for everything. So you are like relating to others very poorly. So this kind of things, we have a certain list of things that what that ordinary kind of people will do, and what extraordinary kind of people will do. So extraordinary kind of people, they they are open to find solutions. They create win-to-win solutions. So they give respect for others opinions. So all these, when we show, they themselves get clarity that, okay, I am in this domain, I was not in this domain. So we have that comparison list things. So that itself will give a solution for them. Okay, I am not listening to them. So my listening skill is not good. So I am coming with my own interpretation. So like that, we have that list, and we just keep on sharing that with them. So that is when they realize that, okay, they are not being in that domain. So they themselves realize, and they go and take action in those areas. They go and say, okay, let's create win-win situation. Okay, how can we go about like this, like that? So they will be able to find solutions for themselves. Like, we don't give solutions, we just give the concepts, and we just give the principles, values, and they themselves will find the solutions for that.
Mm-hmm. Nice. It is very interesting. It's like because they are at such young age, you have the ability to mold it in certain way, and you're trying to use that particular age group so that you can make a better impression, make them a better leader or a better human being for future. That's
Yes,
wonderful.
so this is the right kind of age. See, if they don't inculcate all these habits of being, what are the be extraordinary people habits. So how, what are the things that they do? How they have principle? If they are not aware of these things, they continue to be in the limited beliefs, and they continue to be in a domain of complaining, or like there are so many other things that are usually will not support them for their life, for their growth in their life. So they continue to be that, and they will master that. So once they grow up, like once they go to the job, that is when they realize, okay, these things will not work, because when you go as a profession, so you have to be a team leader or team player. So that is when all these skills are required. So that is when they realize that, oh, I have not, I don't have these skills. I've not built these skills. So instead of going there and realizing, and that time, if you want to alter everything, what you have believed, what you have practiced, what you have mastered, it is very difficult, because if you already mastered it. But at a younger age, they have very less resistance to all these conversations. They'll be more open to, if you say, okay, whether it is a complaint or whether it is a empowering conversation, they will tell, okay, happily they'll tell, yeah, it is a complaint, and yeah, I can be this, like they are so open to have this kind of conversation. They are open to accept their mistakes, because they are very young. So this is the right time for them to really expose them to this kind of education, so they will have that right belief and right way of doing things. And with the right foundations, they'll be able to take decisions, value based decisions they'll be able to take. And because of those foundation principles and values, they'll be not deviated, they'll be not distracted, they'll be not affected by any other circumstances or other people from outside. So they will be more confident from inside. Yeah, basically what I was about to say is, we work mostly on inside part, like thoughts and feelings, emotions. So in schools, they work mostly on external things like academics, and other activities like sport. Yeah, most of the times they address the external things, but here we address internal things. What are their thoughts? What are their emotions? What are their beliefs? What are the thoughts that are going inside their mind? So how they can master their mind, how they can tune that, how can they take the way they want, and how they can cause results for themselves. So that is what we mostly work on, is internal part of our human being nature. Yes.
It is very intriguing to know that at such young age, if they are actually molded in certain ways, definitely they are going to turn out to be a successful adult in the later part of life. But I still have question. I mean, there are some kids who are excited about these stuff, but there are some kids who would be like, no, let me sit and just, scroll through my reels or watch something which they like, or listen their whatever favorite movie or whatever thing they watch on social media. And this is a very different kind of learning, what it seems after talking to you. So how do you make it interesting for kids?
Yeah, so as I told you earlier, we keep on asking questions for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when we ask, when we keep on engaging them, we keep on engaging them, into the class, so they automatically come into our environment. Like, even though they're watching, they have to answer it, they have to listen. So they will come, they will be attentive, more attentive, because anytime the questions will be asked and they have to reflect, and they have to answer. And also, this challenge is there for every aspect. If you see the distractions of the watching TV, or watching their favorite things, that is there in every area. Okay, so what we can do is, like, initially only we create rules, and we tell them the main the aspect of this program, how it works is basically on honesty and integrity. So that is more important for individual. So we keep on creating with them, keep on creating with them that being honest, and focusing on one thing, it matters. And so because of we creating again and again and again and again, we have code of honor, where we keep on we are keep on telling them, sharing them, this is what we expect as a community. So this is what we expecting. So that's when they fall into our code of honor, and they listen to the when you keep on listening to these conversations again and again, they really fall into the rules and the guidelines and code of honor of the community. Yes.
That's nice to hear, because in school also they do the same thing. I mean, teacher keeps saying,
Yes.
do this,
Rules.
finish your
Yeah.
homework on time, and don't talk. And yes, at the end of the day, kids start listening to it.
Rules
So
only
I
will matter. Yes. Yes.
yes, I get that, because there are other people who'd be doing it, and they watch them and the interaction and all that. So obviously it will be impacting them in some or other way. That's nice.
Yeah.
Is there any principle or any activity which you do in your community, if you would like to share, which you find is very interesting and kids just get it very quickly? Any example if
Hmm.
you have?
Yeah, so we have reading habits. So we take text, books, like very inspirational books, and we read that books. So when we read, when we read, we give opportunity for each child to read a few lines from that book, and we ask that child to really share what they got from that, and where they want to implement that in their life. So when next time when they may come, we ask them, okay, have you implemented that in your life? So in that way, so the principle here is learning for lifelong, and learning is not only limited to textbooks or only for school curriculum. So the learning will happen outside, and learning happens anywhere. So the more books they read, the more they will learn, and the more they learn, the more they can apply in their life. The more they apply in their life, the more results they will get it. So this is one principles that we take, that reading is the best habit that we can read for success. So read for success is what we follow. So that is what we support children to read more, and share their knowledge, and implement in their life.
Great,
So there
great.
are like that. There are many principles, like people fail and system work. So creating systems in their life, like having alarm, creating their timetable, and ticking the task that they have completed once they completed. So these are all some systems that they can create we are human beings, and yeah, especially kids, they have that active mind. They want to move around, they want to explore life, so they'll be keep on doing many things. So inside of that, how they can track their life and how they can do things, the way things that they want to do is through systems. So if they can just follow the systems, they'll get whatever they want to in their life. So even and so basically what we do is like we tell them to write all the activities that they want to do in their life and in their day life, what they are doing and what they want to do. So we ask them to give time for that. Like even they like to do drawing, okay, give time for that. So you like to play, so give time for that. So when we ask like that, they will be so interested to share that what they want to do, and they are getting time for that. Because of that, they are happy to do what we ask them to do in the class. So they are clear now, okay, this time is only for this. So this time mentally we are preparing them to focus on one thing and give time for that, and everything matters. So we don't focus only on one thing. We say that okay, focus on whatever you want to do in your life, everything matters. So give time for that, but block it. Okay, so block the time and take actions only in that time will make them practice that okay, this time I have to do only this activity. So in that way, when we keep on saying that, right, so this class, this only you have to do, mentally they prepare and they do only that one, that activity only. They focus completely on that activity because they know that okay, the other activity is taken care. So when we don't give time and when we don't follow this system, they are everywhere. Oh, I want to play. I didn't play today, so they are not present in the class. But if they have taken that time already, they know that okay, 4:30 to 5:30 I will be playing. Then they don't think more about that. They'll be fully here. So that is one that we follow. That one thing that they have to schedule. Initially only we make sure that they create systems in their life and they're clear what they're doing, what time they're doing, and they are happy with that what they're doing. Yeah, because we focus on everything matters.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting, because if you start developing that discipline of time at this such young age, then obviously as you grow up, it will be a lot easier for you to do things. Your
Yes,
body also get
yes,
conditioned according to that, and things gets
yes.
better. Towards the end, I want to ask a couple of more questions. What
Yeah.
is your vision for the future generation, so that they can become successful adults in life, as well as what is your vision about taking your program to the next level?
Yeah, so my vision for future is that I want to create an army of children who are becoming the future leaders, who are becoming role models for next generations. So they inculcating these values of integrity, responsibility, and they being diversified, like they accepting diversity, every culture. So that kind of inclusiveness and adaptability, like the future generation, they being adaptable for everything what happening around them. That is the main thing that I am focusing on, and they are able to face all the challenges that they go through in their life ongoingly, and they coming as a role models for the next generations. That is what I visioning for future.
Wonderful vision, Pavna. I hope you would reach out to many parents and help their children to become successful adult in future. So all the best to
Yes.
you on that. And any
Yeah.
parting thought, any final message for the parents who are listening to you?
Yeah, what I can invite parents to do is, whenever you get time, take them to places where they can really service for other people without expecting anything from others. They giving best of themselves to others. So that is the one important thing that they can do. Like they can go to some temples and they do some seva, and they can go to some schools and they can really share their knowledge, so they can share their knowledge and experience with other children. So they can do so many things. So they doing service is one thing that I like love to see children doing. And the second is that they doing meditation, they growing spiritually, attending meditation classes. We have Brahma Kumari, and we have Art of Living. There are so many Sadhguru classes are there. So there are so many people there to support to create that environment of mindfulness and heartful meditations. So expose your child to this kind of environment where at younger age, so that they know that okay, when they have problem, how to solve that by themselves. So this is a wonderful gift that you can give to your children, that solving the problems by themselves through mastering, and these are all free. Brahma Kumari classes are free, for children. So they have to just go and show up and just make use of that opportunities, whatever available.
That's very inspirational message, and I think I, as a parent, I have not taken my daughter anywhere in terms of doing seva or volunteering, but I believe that's a very good idea. It would give them a very different perspective of selfless service. Like every time when you do something, kids look for reward, and this is something where
Yes.
there's no reward, this except that feeling of happy that okay, you helped somebody. So I'm sure that is a very useful advice. So thank you so much, Pavana. It was wonderful talking to you. And I'm sure many parents who are listening to, they might, want to consider looking for coaches like you who can help their kids to become a successful adult. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Meenu. Thank you so much for hosting me here.